Cam Radio, the Sportsbook, Big Lou, Tony G, Tuesday night. Happy Halloween, everyone.
Happy Halloween, everyone. Welcome to the Sportsbook once again. Good weekend. Upsets, record breaking, and we saw some teams showed up this weekend that we had questions about last week. So we got a whole hour to get into all of the good news. And the NBA starting back, and we got baseball, World Series getting ready to set up. I mean, it's so much to cover, and I love this time of year because there's so much stuff to cover that you never get a chance. I never get a chance to record, our Thursdays and our Fridays injury report because there's so much sports going on that But we get that rolling soon, guys. So I'll get that rolling soon. I got to make time. You got to make time, not excuse.
There you go. Let's start off with Thursday's game. The Bills came. They played.
Mm-hmm.
Josh had interceptions. You got to beat the teams they put in front of you.
Yes, you do.
I'll give Baker some. I'm gonna give Baker. I think Baker may have found a home. I think
Yeah.
I think he's doing a good job. And I think they need a lot of. They need a lot of. They need a lot of parts. Tom left.
Yeah.
A lot of people left. They still got some. They still got some good. They still got some good. They still got a good core. It's just going to take.
Yeah.
But I think Baker may have found a home. Like I said, Josh threw interceptions. The running game was a little bit. Was a little bit lackluster.
Yeah,
Buffalo.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little. We just don't have that. Again, we don't have that big back. Hopefully, we're making a deal by tonight at 12:00.
Right.
I think all the teams are. But Buffalo did not cover the spread. Did not cover the spread. And a little information. Worst team to cover the spread. Who do you think it is?
Worst team to cover the spread.
This year.
This year. Worst team to cover the spread this year. Wow. Is it the Bucks or is it the Bills?
No, it's not the Bills. It's Carolina.
Wow, Carolina. But I stay away from Carolina bits anyway. Depending, like you say, depending on who they play. Normally, when they play outside of the conference, kind of stay away because you never know.
Yeah, you never know with them. That's for sure. But that's team as of right now. They're the worst team against the spread. Like I said, the Bills didn't cover their spread. Tampa was the money if you would have bet on Tampa. Like I said, Tampa came back in the fourth, scored 8 points to kind of ruin the spread. Next game, the Cowboys and the Rams. A lot of people were. I think this is a good tune-up game for the Cowboys.
Yes.
Get moving in the right direction. They got to play Philly. We'll talk about that. They got to play Philly this. They got to play Philly this week, but they came and they put it on. The Rams.
Oh yeah,
Dak. Dak. Ooh.
Yeah,
it was
good
bad.
Game.
Yeah. He threw for 304 yards, had one interception, 4 TDs. Stafford had a rough day. Took some shots.
Yeah, and that's another team. And that's another team that's starting over, retooling because all of the money was spent to get that Super Bowl, and it's funny that they're still, recouping from that. They're still recouping from that because we're what 3 seasons? Is it 3 or 4?
4 seasons.
Yeah, we're 4 seasons after their Super Bowl win for the Super Bowl that everybody, quote unquote, that they bought. And they're still trying to, fix the repercussions of spending all that money, but got to spend the win and you deal with it later. Now is the later. So now you got to start over and build from scratch.
Definitely, definitely words of wisdom there. That's, I mean, they put it all together. I don't think they just put it together for 1 year. I think they were trying to make a two,
Yeah,
3 year window there.
yeah,
It just didn't work
hmm
out um,
yeah. Didn't
with
work out with golf
injuries.
and then injuries and yeah.
Just kind of one of
So
those, yeah, just one of those things. But like I said, the Cowboys, I think it was a good tune-up game for them. They're going to have their uh, hands full against the Eagles. And so a lot of people thought I was going to bash the Cowboys. No, I'm not bashing anything. They was a
yeah,
good tune-up game. Got the offense rolling. The defense looked good, and we'll find out this week when they play Philly. If it's real, or if it's not.
right.
The Vikings and the Packers. Uh, Kirk Cousins got hurt. He's done for the year.
Yeah, done for the year, torn ACL. It kind of sucks because Minnesota was on a roll after that San Francisco game. They started to click, started getting the wheels turning. We started seeing comeback Kirk, playoff Kirk, the guy that we always talk about, and it was unfortunate, but it's part of it, part of it, Army. Injuries are the part of the game that we have to deal with. It's unfortunate for Minnesota Vikings. So
And
who's
it'll be,
so it's
huh?
Detroit's division now because that was their only threat with Kirk Cousins. So now it's Detroit because we all know what
So,
Chicago is and Green Bay is not good enough.
another interesting fact of this is Kirk Cousins, 36 years old. Didn't realize he was that old, but he is.
I
Uh,
didn't either. I knew he was in his 30s, but not quite 36. I was thinking a little bit younger than that.
he said 36. So it'll be interesting to see if he comes back, if he
Yeah.
wants to come back. A lot of people, I don't know if a lot of people realize when they did that special about him, he's a very devoted Christian, very devoted
Mhm.
father, spends a lot of time with the kids. That's why, some people were saying, would he be a good fit in New York? Um, would he learn a new system? Da da da. Well, like I said, interesting to see.
Yeah.
But the Vikings
Yeah.
won. Yeah, Vikings won. Managed to put, and what's so crazy, Lou, is he was having a good game.
Yeah.
I mean, he was having a good. He had no interceptions, 274 yards. And that injury is, whew. Um, but going to the Falcons and the Titans, did you watch any of this game? This was a pretty interesting game.
Yeah. I caught the highlight from this game. And like you said, it was a pretty interesting game. The Atlanta, they hung in there. The Titans was making it difficult, and they looked like Tennessee that we're used to seeing. But I have to give kudos to the Falcons. They hung in there, couldn't pull off the victory, but they hung in there pretty good. It was kind of a back and forth game. Both teams made plays when they need to play, when they needed the plays made. It's just that the Titans had the most momentum and they pulled out the victory. But it was a very judging from the highlights, and of course, the highlights going to give you all the first downs and the touchdowns. But judging from that, it looked like it was a pretty good game, a back and forth game.
Yeah, Falcons came back in the fourth to make it interesting. Scored 14,
Mhm.
so it was 28-23. But Titans did hold on. They're 3-4. Falcons are 4-4. Next game, your Saints, man. Tell me all about that one.
Uh, I did. I did catch some of that game. great win by the Saints. They looked like, you know, the Saints of old, they got into the, mid to upper 30 point scoring. So the offense was clicking. Taysom Hill showed up in this game. He contributed a lot. Tomorrow, all of the weapons that I was screaming about that they need to use, it seemed like everybody got their touches and, everybody made plays. So, and I guess Derek Carr took his own advice and, toned it down and worked within the offense. I still think that, I still think that, some changes need to be made. Some things need to be tweaked. As far as free agency, what we need, I think we need more than what we can get out of free agency. One or two players in free agency is not going to fix it. And I'm a Saints fan. I'm a football fan first, Saints fan second. Now, as a Saints fan, I still don't feel like, this is a team that can go far in the playoffs. Too much inconsistency and they're too predictable. Saints was a team that were unpredictable, even though you knew who their weapons were and what they're capable of. It was hard to cover them all. And it seems like with this version, it's scaled back as far as like the creativity with the offense. So I don't think that they're there yet. I think that they're the level of play, the consistency of play is not there for me, Tony. And like I say, I'm a fan, but I just call it like it is. Consistency is not there.
Yeah, like Carr had a good day, threw for over 300 yards, moving in the right direction. But yeah, you're right. There's some moves that are going to have to be made to stay consistent. Now the Dolphins and the Patriots going in the half, it was 17-7, and then the Dolphins kind of pulled it off, pulled away, and the Patriots just kind of ran. It was like there was not much more they could do. This game it was 31-17, wasn't really as close as the score
Right.
made it look, but yeah.
And Tony, it's amazing, Tony, to now I watched some of that game too, and it was just to me, it is just insane how fast Tyreek Hill is.
It is
It's
insane.
insane to see. It's insane to watch the coverage and then just watch him just blow by it like he's driving down the freeway. And I'm like, man, what can you do? What can you do with that? There's nothing you can do with that. I guess you have to cut everything else down because he's going to get hit
Yes.
unless you double or triple team him, and you can't do that because then now you got other receivers open. So yeah.
Yeah, you definitely need a pass rush when you're playing them. The next game was the under that I took. It was the Jets and the Giants. This was a good game. This is, even though they're not, one's AFC, one's NFC. This is the Super Bowl for who's king in New York, New
Yeah,
York City.
yeah.
So it's always pretty a tight game, and the Jets managed to. The Jets are sneaking back. I mean, they're 4-3.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
mean,
above
they're
500. That's
yeah,
good. That's good for them.
they are definitely sneaking back. The Jaguars and the Steelers going into, I think it was 9-3 going into the half, and then the
Mhm.
Jaguars just
Just
and then it
kind of
was
took off after that. Yeah.
yeah, then it was 9-10, then 18-10, then or 17-10, my bad, and then it became 2010. The Steelers are 4-3. They got some work.
Yeah,
They definitely got
yeah, they
definitely.
they definitely got some work that needs to be done. Uh, Kudos to the Jaguars for that road win. I was expecting a low scoring game and for Pittsburgh, to hold it tight and then squeeze that field goal in at the last minute.
Yeah, it was.
Didn't
It
turn out
wasn't.
that way.
No, I mean, it definitely didn't do the under was where it was at on that game. Next game is the Eagles and the Washington. That was a game.
That was a
That was
game.
that
That was a tough
it.
game.
Yeah, they were up
You know,
14, and then or they were up by 14. The Eagles going in, and then Commanders scored another one, which made it 31. Yeah, it was, but it's a conference game. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. And they always, and regardless in the NFC East, when they play each other, they all of the games, regardless of who play who in that division, all of those games are down to the wire and they feel like playoff games.
Right. Absolutely. And that's why I said when the Cowboys play the Eagles this week, it's gonna be for something because the Eagles are 7-1, and Dallas is 5-2, and Dallas don't want to go 5-3 against their 8-1. You know what I mean? They don't want to fall. They
Right.
need to be in the hunt. They need to be in the hunt of things. The Texans and the Panthers. The Panthers finally get their first win. This was a fun
Mhm.
game to watch. I thought the Texans were going to pull it out. I thought they were going to win. In fact, they were part
Mhm.
of a parlay. Um, but they just couldn't. And the Panthers got their first win. They were happy. Uh, Lord knows they were, and Bryce Young had a pretty decent day. CJ Stroud didn't have any interceptions, but not a lot of passing, 140 yards.
Right.
It just kind of was. Um, but they both, like I said, I think they're both young, upcoming teams. Um, I think they'll be able to acquire. They're going to get plenty of draft choices come time. So that I think they could definitely move in the right directions. The Browns and the Seahawks. Seahawks came out strong in the first quarter. The Browns tried to come on back, and then
Yeah, that was a tough game too.
that
That
was that
that
was a
that
tough
that
game.
was a tough game. They man, that Browns defense, they hit hard. But Seattle didn't lay down either.
No,
And and uh and PJ Walker's keeping that team afloat.
yeah, he is. He had two interceptions, but yeah, but so did Smith had two interceptions too. So it's not
Right.
like
So
PJ
yeah, they was
Walker
kind
ain't
of
bad.
they were kind of on the same they were on the same wavelength. They were kind of they were equal in this game as far as like quarterback competition.
Yeah, absolutely. But it was a good game. Seattle goes to 5-2.
Mhm.
Cleveland goes to 4-3. Let me see. We're gonna go.
San
Yeah, it
Fran better
does.
be careful. They better be careful because it looks like Seattle's sneaking up in that division.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So going to Kansas City and the Chiefs, they said before the game there was a question mark about Mahomes. Said he wasn't feeling well. I
Yeah.
guess that should have been the hint to take because that's the
Yeah,
best I've seen the
that was the hint
Broncos
to
all
take the
year.
Broncos. Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Mahomes had two interceptions. I mean, Russell Wilson only threw for 114 yards. I went with the under. They kept saying that there was going to be a bunch of snow. I know it was cold,
Hmm.
but it never the snow never came. Um, but man, hats off to Sean Payton and Denver
Yeah,
um, pulling up. I mean, that was a heck of a it
yeah.
was another game.
Heck of a showing for Sean Payton and those Broncos. That was a heck of a showing. You know, came broke the streak, and now they can use this. They can use this victory as a formula to try to accumulate a couple of wins. I haven't looked at their schedule as I haven't looked at their schedule yet. I need to take a look at that to see who they're facing as the season progresses. But they could definitely use this win as momentum to get things going in the right direction over there.
Isn't it crazy? We're already in week 9.
Yeah, already halfway through the season. Just that
Already
it
halfway
goes
through.
by that it goes by that fast. But when you have Monday night games and Thursday night games, and then you got college football on Saturday, and like I said, there's so much going on that it's going to fly by, especially now that we have the pennant and then NBA opening the season and along with the NFL. It's outrageous.
Yeah, it's action packed. Next game is the Ravens, 31-24 Cardinals. Cardinals played a good game. Uh,
Better
they were
than
behind.
expected.
Yeah, better. They came. So they were behind going into the fourth quarter. I think 21-7.
Mhm.
Came in, scored some points. Baltimore. Lamar didn't have a huge day. Uh, Joshua Dobbs, he had 2 interceptions. But all in all, for a second I thought the Cardinals were going to pull it out. Could not make it happen. Could not make it happen.
No,
Man, this next game,
don't do it.
49ers, the 49ers and the Bengals. What do you think's going on with Purdy? A lot of people are like, "Oh, he's imploded. He threw for 365 yards. Um, and they got some injuries. He had 2 interceptions.
Mhm.
Um, McCaffrey had an okay day, 50 yards. I think pretty ran for more yards. But I don't think. I mean, what was it? He won 9 games in a row or something, and he lost. I mean, they're. I
Won
mean, they're
nine
acting like
games in a row, and the hype meter just exploded when that happened. He won 9 games in a row, got him to the Super Bowl. Probably would have won it if he hadn't hurt his finger, but the true nature of a great quarterback is how he performs without his main cast. Now, we
yeah,
all know that football is a team sport. We all know this. And we all know to be the best, you got to have weapons. And, we all know that. But this is what separates the good from the great is how you perform without your best asset, you know. So, and I think without all of the weapons on the field, uh, Brock Purdy doesn't have the confidence because when at the beginning of the season, the ball was just he was anticipating where they was going. The ball was meeting the receivers where they was going. Ball was leaving his hands quick.
right.
And that's when you got everybody that knows their role and they're there. I think once he lost his main weapons, he lost the confidence of placing the ball where it's supposed to be. And that's what's leading to the interceptions and the drop in play. He has to get back to having that confidence of getting the ball, the timing of it. His timing is off. He's got to get back to having that timing where he can put that ball where it needs to be and anticipate the receiver being there as opposed to being reluctant because, okay, I'm not sure. He just got to, that's the one thing I believe is holding him back. Now, that and the hype meter being too high, because of the win.
Oh, and I'm gonna throw another factor. It's his second year.
That too.
I mean,
It's
do we?
second
The
season.
guy is. It's it, man. They're judging him like this. I'm like, and he makes league minimum. And yeah, yeah, I mean, you hit a little slump. He had a lot of yards. The Bengals are, of course, here they come. They're making their march back. So, and like I said, we'll see what happens. They got the rest of the season. They got 9 games left. Um, so we'll see. And that coaching staff is going to make adjustments. There's no doubt in my mind.
Right.
There's no doubt in
And
my
no one
mind.
had
Next,
tape on Purdy. Every now
yeah,
people got tape and now they know what to do,
yeah,
to
yeah.
contain them. Yeah.
Next game is the and uh, Chargers and the Bears. The kid from Tyson Bagnet, if I'm saying his name right,
Mhm.
good backup quarterback, young guy, got some promise. I'm not saying he's going to be the quarterback, but I would feel confident with a young man like that he's got some kahunas and
Yeah.
isn't afraid to throw the ball. I mean, Justin Herbert threw for 298. You know, Los Angeles has got a lot of talent. They're just, it's just kind of the Chargers. I don't know. Something isn't gelling. I don't know what it is.
Right.
But
It's like they're
something
not
just
buying into the culture. Something's not right there. It's like the
something's not right.
culture's not being bought in. Maybe it's the play calling, but
Don't know, but something on paper. These guys. This is the
something's
third
not
year, man.
gelling.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's not gelling. It's too much talent for it not to gel and to move like we know these players are capable of playing.
Absolutely. There's no doubt. There's no doubt about it. It's all. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. All right, guys, we're gonna have to take a break. I just want to thank everyone. Thank Big Lou and Eli on the board. I want to thank everyone for tuning in every Tuesday night, 8 o'clock on the sports book, on KM Radio. Like I said, you go to kmradio.com, press play 24 hours a day. It's the every deal. Everybody wants to shout out to my guys over at SI Motorsports in Bossier. Always a big sports book fan, and my guys over at Big Robbie's, the king of the diamond tables on Barksdale. Go by and tell them that Big Lou and Tony G sent you. Again, we get back, we're going to cover this week's games coming up. A lot of football, a lot of gambling. There's going to be some tight ones. There's going to be, but the biggest thing is we've got to take a break. You are looking. I was talking to a guy today, big gambler, and he said, the biggest mistake people make? He said they want to bet on Notre Dame USC because that's the game they're watching. He goes, I don't want to bet on Notre Dame USC. I want to bet on Alabama playing Mississippi Christian Junior College. That's the game I want to bet on. And I was like, right, because you're gambling to win money.
Mm-hmm.
You're trying to find your spots, and that's what I keep telling people. Is like, if you're gambling, the object is to win money. So find the games where you have the advantage. Don't pick tough games. I don't want to figure it out. I want to go, hey, this team is totally depleted out of their league. Statistically, this is a 54%. You know what I mean? I don't want to bet. And
Right.
he hit it right on the head. Why are you betting on the hard games? Bet on, when they're playing the junior college. You know what I mean? Miami,
Right.
the other Miami. That's the game you want
Miami
to
of
bet
Ohio. Yeah, those are the games.
That's when they play Notre Dame. That's what I want to bet on. All right, guys, we'll be back in 2 and 2. Again, thank you for tuning in every Tuesday night. Tony G, Big Lou, KM Radio, Halloween, right here where we go ham. I hope. There we go. KM Radio, where we go ham. It's Tony G, Big Lou on the sports book every Tuesday night. Happy Halloween, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Another Tuesday night. If you're just checking in, we're about to go over our picks. Lou, you writing them down? I don't have my pen with me. Hold on.
Write down the picks. Got paper, got pen, writing down the picks this week. We're going to see what we can do.
See if we can make some money.
Call Army, Sportsbook Army. Let's see what we can do this weekend. We're going to make some money.
First game is Tennessee Titans at Pittsburgh Steelers. This is going to be a tough one. I know. Pittsburgh's playing it. Yep, it's in Pittsburgh. The over's 36. This could be an ugly game. This could be an ugly, ugly game. I can see this game going 14-6.
Yeah,
but Pittsburgh. Yeah, Pittsburgh coming off a loss, being at home. Again, not saying that I'm going to bet this. I'm just saying we're going to bet it. But I do like Pitt at home. Have to look at the injury list. I like Pitt at home. I like I like the under because I think this could be a down and dirty game. The under's
Mhm.
36. Another thing, another thing, if you're betting on your app, keep when the games start, pay attention to your live bets because sometimes there's some jewels in there, but you have only a microsecond to bet it. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like
Yeah.
it, Pittsburgh could go up 7-0, and the under could still be at 36, and you better bet
Mhm.
it or over. You know what I mean? And because it'll change. But yeah, Pittsburgh at home. I like Pitt and the under. Um, yeah, that's where I'm at. Next game,
Okay.
tell me what you're thinking about this. Miami coming to Kansas City.
Woo. Dolphins, Chiefs. Both teams are 6-2. Um, the Chiefs are not playing. They're not playing like what we're used to seeing them play, and they have some sloppy losses, but they're still 6-2. Patrick Mahomes still in the race for MVP. Um, and no one's doubting that they can make it back to the Super Bowl. But you also got the Dolphins and their high flying offense. The Chiefs don't have any DBs to put Tyreek Hill at bay. I'm just sorry. So he's going to get his. The deal with this game is can for the Dolphins. It's going to be easier to contain Patrick Mahomes because his receivers are suspect. They'll catch a pass, they'll drop a pass, they'll fumble. You know, that's some stuff that's got to be corrected, but we're starting to see inconsistency in the passing game, you know, here. And then there's been some ugly interceptions being thrown too. With the Dolphins, can they contain Patrick Mahomes and keep him at bay, knowing that, his receivers are not that reliable? And with the Chiefs, I think the Chiefs have to there's nothing they can do with Tyreek Hill. The Chiefs have to concentrate on Waddle, Wilson, and stopping that running game. If they can contain the running game, then they may be able to control this game. But it's gonna be hard. This is a hard one, but I think those are the key things that need to happen you know for each team to win. But Tony, I still like the Chiefs though. Miami's on the road. Miami's on the road,
Weather,
and even though, yeah, the weather is cold in KC right now. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go with the Chiefs on this.
yeah. I mean, see, and this is one of those things where I wonder if we're talking ourselves out of Miami because we keep saying
Yeah,
it's the Chiefs.
Chiefs, the weather, but
So
I
this
don't
goes
think
back.
Miami's gonna lay down. But
No. Tyreek Hill's trying to make a point. Are you kidding me?
mhm.
This would be everything for Tyreek Hill to get
Oh
up,
yeah,
get up. Oh man, it would be to beat them and say, oh, they weren't that good. I've been telling you they're not that good. Um,
right.
and if anyone knows Tyreek, they know him. And he's given them all kind of game against Kansas City. So I'm with you. I like Kansas City. Um, don't like the over at 50. Um, but I like Kansas City. Last minute win. Um, but this is one of the games that we were just talking about. This is one of those tough games. Try to find
Yeah,
you an easy pick. Try to find you an easy picking somewhere, and definitely go through your injury list because this is going to be anything. And Patrick was sick last week. Is he
hmm
over the flu? There's a lot
right.
of what ifs. Yeah. Next game is Seattle and Baltimore. Does Seattle got what it takes to go to Baltimore and win?
I don't think so. Not I don't think they do, not the way they played Detroit. The way they played Detroit when Detroit came to town, I don't think that the Seahawks are as good as Detroit. And I think that Baltimore, I think they're finding their groove right now. I think they're finding their groove right now. And I think they're gonna beat the Seahawks at home. I think the Ravens are a better team.
Yeah, at home, Baltimore playing at home -5. I like the under. I like the Ravens. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm definitely and like I say, here's another one. New England at Washington. Washington playing at home. What's your thoughts?
Wow. New England at okay. Commanders and the Patriots. I'm trying to figure this one out. Okay, they got them at they got New England at -3. I don't know, but the Commanders are so sneaky, but I don't know. I don't think I don't know. I don't know, Tony. I don't know on this one. I don't know on this one because you got the enemy's offensive genius and you got Belichick's defensive, but they both don't have quality of players that make them that elite, that justifies their elite, their elite coaching.
Right,
But and you because the Patriots will lay a goose egg at, they'll lay an egg at home too, depending on the,
right.
on the caliber of talent. I think the Commanders defense is better than the Patriots offense, but
Yes.
at the same time, Sam Howell is not going to go and cook Belichick in New England. He's not going to cook him at home. I don't think.
I'm with you. I'm with you with New England. Um, Green Bay at Los Angeles Rams.
Green Bay at the Rams.
I
I
look at the
don't think
Rams to bounce back. Um,
I'm with you. I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that because I don't have any faith. I don't have any faith in the Packers quarterback. He is not ready. He's not ready. He has some flashes. He has some flashes in the pad, but we're at what week? We're at week 9 now, and he still look like he's trying to learn offense.
right.
And some people just don't have it in them. Now, if you want to be hypothetical and say, well, but he's an athlete and is that, okay, I get that. But he's playing a professional sport that we cover. And y'all watch the same football I watch. Do you think that Jordan Love is a quarterback that can take you through the playoffs and to the Super Bowl? No, of course not. And it doesn't look like he has a command of the game or the offense that he's been sitting behind all these years. Now we know it takes playing time to get the rhythm, but it doesn't look like it to me. I don't think the guys got it. And I think the Rams just might pull out this victory on the road against the Packers.
They're playing. Rams are playing at home.
Okay.
Rams
Well
are
then, yeah.
Rams are playing at home +3. They're giving Green Bay -3. I think a reason why the Rams aren't getting because the defense looked terrible against the
Yeah.
Cowboys. They moved,
Hmm.
but the Packers. I mean, Jordan Love's in a bad situation. They need a lot of players. They need a
Hmm.
lot of players. There's a lot of people.
And
There's a
then
lot
they
of
had
pieces.
CD Lamb. They couldn't do anything with CD Lamb because uh Dallas finally figured out that you just can't put CD Lamb in one spot. You got to put him all over the field and he can get his numbers and he can get y'all offense rolling that way. They finally figured that out. And I'm not even an offensive coordinator or studied Madden.
Yeah, I like the Rams just like you do at home. Um, Next game is tell me about your Bears and the Saints.
Bears and the Saints. This should be a dub for the Saints. It's at home where Saints are at 500. You have Chicago Bears 2-6, struggling with quarterback play. Players they don't have it. The Saints should run away with this game. With the dome and the victory on the road, they should come back home and repeat that energy at home. You know, and they should be able. And this is the game. This is the game where you have to be creative. You can be creative with your offense, but also not cute. Be creative, but not cute. Try some new plays because you know that you're not. The caliber of the team is not. Compatible with your offense, but don't get cute. Don't have Taysom Hill throwing it to Derek Carr and all that crap. Just get creative. You know, Try some things out with these players to see if it'll work. But don't get cute because if you get cute, you're gonna lose the game.
So you
But
feel
I
confident
got
with
all
them with
confidence in the
this?
Saints. Yeah,
With the
I feel
7.5
confident with the
spread.
Saints winning at home.
All right, I like that. I like that call. Mark it down. Saints minus 7.5. All right, next game. Minnesota Vikings, Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta Falcons are playing at home. We all know they play great in the dome. Minnesota is going to be using a backup quarterback. I mean, first look at this, I think you have to go to the Falcons.
Yeah.
Minus 4.5. I mean, Minnesota's got a pretty decent team. I just don't know if they can gel the first week without Kirk Cousins. Because, like I said, if you look at Kirk Cousins' stats, I mean, up until he got hurt, man, he had some stats. The man could put the ball in the air. Don't know if they're going to be able to move the same way. I'm sure they're going to come out hype. But I like Atlanta at home. Again, historically, they play well at home. Minus 4.5.
Yeah, that's a very doable. That's
very doable. Very, very doable. Like I said, they're in for they need to bounce back. And like I said, Minnesota, their first week with their backup quarterback, it's going to be very limited. How about the Houston Texans with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Tampa Bay is at home. They're actually favoring the Texans. So that means that the Bucs got some injuries that we need to find out.
Yeah.
This is a tough, but they should. I mean, looking at it, I got to look at their injury report. I mean, Tampa should pull this out, but like I said, Vegas has got them at 2.5-point dogs, and there's a reason. So we're going to have to do some research and figure out on that one. This is one of those get some more information.
Yeah, get some more information. See what starters are out, who's starting the game. Is there anything going on with the quarterback? You got to get all your information this week on this one because my spider sense is telling me the Texans, but I wanna get all my info first because it's Baker, and although
he's at home,
he's at home, and he plays better when there's a chip.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get all the info on this one before I make a decision.
So we got Cleveland at Arizona. Cleveland's minus 8. Cleveland's got a heck of a running game. They're playing great with their backup quarterback, or I say great, but they're playing well. Arizona beat the Cowboys. They've played tough in a lot of their games. I don't really like the spread. I like Cleveland to win, but I don't really like the spread. This could be Arizona's playing at home. I know at times they look bad, but other times they look really good. And Cleveland needs this win. to keep staying in the wild card or playoff.
Yeah, to stay in hunt because Baltimore and Cincinnati are starting to get their wheels cranking as
starting
we,
to
they're starting to ascend as we get closer to playoff time. So,
oh,
yeah.
absolutely. All right, we've already covered New England and Commerce. Yeah, got that. The Colts and the Carolina Panthers. This is another one of those games where can Carolina win two in a row at home? Indianapolis Colts. Which Colts are going to show up? I mean,
Right.
but I do like the Colts minus 2.5. But this is one of them games, Lou. I'm not going to gamble on. This
No,
is, this is
it can go belly up on you either way. Either way you bet, it can bite
yeah. Either way, it could. And I mean, there's a couple of these. Um, there's a couple of these um, that are like that this week. Our next
you.
game is the Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles. The Cowboys are playing at the Philadelphia Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
This is a must win
Game
for the
of the week.
Cowboys. Yeah.
Must win for the Cowboys. This is the split game for the Cowboys to tell
Yeah.
the AFC East that we are the champ and to tell the rest of the NFC that, this is what you're going to be dealing with. So
So when I
now,
say good,
I was about to say, now, Philly, there was some little things going on there, but I think they figured it out with AJ Brown. I think they figured that part out. Uh, can they can they stand can they stand up to Michael Parson in that defensive front? And will and they only got Gilmore in the backfield, right? That's the elite corner.
yeah,
So yeah. So this is gonna be a good one.
it's gonna. I think
I
it's good. I
think
mean, it's gonna be.
yeah,
Good.
gonna be a good one, and I like that -3 because I think that's what it's gonna be down to the wire. I have a feeling that you know I think Philly's going to put it off. That win that Dallas had last week over the Rams was a good win. They needed that for confidence, and they looked like the playoff team that we expected them to be. But I don't know about these Eagles. They know Dallas well, and like I said, if Brown gets going, it's going to be hard for Dallas to win this game. But if Dak shows up like he did last week, they could take this. They very well could win it. It'll be close, but gut's telling me Philly, but which Philly? Which Philly team showing up?
I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna tell you what I think. I'm gonna surprise some people. This is a must win for the Cowboys. I'll tell you why. You do not need Philadelphia to go up 8-1, and you go down and you lose another game, chasing them from
Right.
behind. It's a
Right.
must win because you need to prove to Philly and to yourself that you are capable of beating them. This is a must game because we did pay Dak a lot of money. We got Michael. This is a must win for the Cowboys. It's
Right.
so because if you lose this, yeah, the season's not over, but you just put yourself in a box. You're
Right.
putting
Right.
more. It's like you're walking up a hill, and instead of walking up the hill, they give you an extra 40 pounds. Here, take this with you. You can still do it,
Mhm.
but you're making it tough. To me, this is where the Cowboys. I'm going to take the Cowboys. If the Cowboys lose, I'm never ever. I mean, I'll just go. I told you so. But the bottom line is, I think all what's on the line, and the coaching staff. This is all what it's about. This is why we throw all this money in America's team and this and that. I mean, guys, it's time to beat the Philadelphia Eagles at home, because now you're saying we can hang with the elite, because a lot of things are lurking with Dallas in reality, not with some of the fans. You know, if you lose to Philly, it shows you're just that other team. You, them boys, the ones that are going to finish with a winning record, you know. But I'm going to take Dallas +3. And when I mean there's no room for error for Dallas, Mark, put me in the books for Dallas. Yeah. I mean, hey, like I said, this is why you lift all them weights. This is why we pay all that money. And I think
and it's time for Dak to earn that money.
Yeah, and I think he's
gonna. And I get it, Tony. And I agree wholeheartedly with your statement. You know, this is the game that all that money was spent for. This game right here, you got to beat these guys to solidify all of the moves that we made, so that we can get to where we're trying to go.
Absolutely, because we gotta show the winning teams that we can beat them. That's what Dallas needs to do. Yeah, you beat up on a lot of, you know, I mean, and they're not by themselves. We'll get to that, but the Cowboys +3. That's where I'm going with. It's a 325 game. It's going to be it'll be something. The Giants and the Raiders. Jeez, they got the Raiders at -3 because the Raiders are playing at home. I wouldn't bet on this game if. Holy cow,
Raiders
this is terrible.
Show me the Raiders just don't show me anything for me to take that gamble on them at that -3. They don't play consistently enough, or when they do win, they don't win convincingly enough to where I would take a gamble, especially against the Giants and Saquon Barkley. You have a disgruntled wide receiver in the midst. So, what is his production rate going to be? He hope he's on the trading block. He hope he's gone by the time this game's played.
Right. So, and I'm with you. I would rather, if I was going to gamble on this game, I would go with the Giants. But I'm going to surprise y'all. I'm going to get y'all again. I'm going to throw some. Next game is the Buffalo Bills and Cincinnati Bengals. I'm a Buffalo Bills fan, okay? But I'm a gambler. And there's nothing that the Bills have done to make me think that they can go into Cincinnati and win. Now, I could go, it's my team, and it's because I'm looking at it statistically. And statistically is Cincinnati has owned us every time we play them. So why would I bet against them? And this is what I'm trying to get you all to understand. Don't bet with your heart. Don't do that, because you're not winning anything. The bottom line is, do I hope Buffalo wins? Of course. But statistically, they've done nothing to improve for them to beat Cincinnati. I'm just saying. So if I'm going to gamble, whether I like Cincinnati or not, Cincinnati is the better bet. At home, -3. And they've had our number. Guys, it ain't never personal. It's just gambling. Stop thinking it's personal. It's not at all. Last but not least, the New York Jets at home with the Los Angeles Chargers. I have no clue on this one. I couldn't tell you who's going to show up.
Either.
I mean,
the only thing that for the guys that want to gamble on them and the Jets fans out there, the only thing that we can tell you is that LA is traveling to the East Coast.
We can tell you that. And it's going to be cold.
That's the only thing. Yeah, it's going to be cold. They're traveling to the East Coast. It's going to be cold. So you got the time differentiation and you got the weather.
Yes, you have a huge time. Yes.
Run with it with you as if you will. But that, you could use that.
I like the over because I know the Chargers can score, even though I know the Jets have a really, really good defense. But, he can definitely he can air out the ball, and the Jets are going to try to keep it close. But if you've seen the Chargers defense play, at times they're not very good. Other times they got the manpower. Both of Khalil Mack. I mean, they got some manpower, but it just doesn't. It just hasn't clicked to where it's a winning. It's a winning formula. And I think there's some
Right.
coaching issues. I think there's a lot of issues.
Absolutely.
And again, like somebody said, there's more bad coaches than there are bad players. And the more and more I've been watching, the more and more I really believe that, Lou. I think there's a lot of coaches with way too big of egos, and people, nobody wants to admit they made a mistake, or we got too much tied up in this guy. But again, I do like the over. I think this game could get funky. We will see. All right, guys, we've covered them all. We'll see how we do Sunday. We're going to try to win some money. Big Lou and Tony G. Want to say happy Halloween. Woo! Want to say happy Halloween to everybody at KM Radio, working the board for us. Again, want to thank all the people that call in, SI Motorsports and Big Robbie down there in Barksdale, the king of the diamond tables. Again, hit us up on Facebook, Sportsbook, KM Radio. Go to KM Radio. Press play, 24 hours a day of great programming and shows. All right, guys, we'll catch you next week. Much love. We'll see you when we see you right here on KM Radio, where we go ham.
Happy Halloween, sucker.
Happy Halloween. I like it.